When I play either with friends, students or colleagues, these are the tips that I seem to repeatedly have to provide that are going to help you gauge distance better and actually hole out with more confidence. You will be three putting a lot less. So when you do go out on the course next, just apply 1, 2, maybe 3 of the aspects and you will see profound differences in your scores. It may not be sexy, but putting is valuable when it comes to lowering your consistency and the predictability of the scores you shoot. Let's get to it. Distance control can really mess us up because we're either focused too much on technique or the slope or whatever it might be. When we're talking about distance control, we need to have a really quite go-to feel to be able to gauge distance. Now, one of those is very important we're going to touch on it a little bit later, but one, like let's say I was putting to the fringe here. It's very important just to pace that out somewhat, so we kind of get a feel for it. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the more you play, the more you practice, you kind of start educating yourself a little bit to know, okay, there's that approximate distance. I know it's downhill. I know the greens are relatively fast. So I just want to feel a putt that goes about there. So I will just try and brush one down here. So without thinking too much about it, I'm just going to do a putt that's going to ideally just get to the sort of edge of the green, right? That's the feel that I want, and that's giving me something just to kind of get to this line that I was trying to pick out. I was a bit short, granted, but the way we can improve upon that is when we're doing our putting strokes, we want this sternum to move, right? We've talked about that. We really want a nice smooth tempo, because that is key, a nice smooth tempo. But the right arm only putting drill that you can use out on the course whenever you can, or even just as you're doing practice strokes, especially when it comes to longer putts, to be able to gauge that. And when you're doing it, we don't want it just to be your right arm. We still want the sternum to sort of feel like it's turning, and that's how we're controlling it, okay? But I'm allowing the putter to brush through. So when I'm looking at my target, which is the head cover in this case, I'm just trying to feel a nice weight of stroke that's going to get me to that head cover, okay? I was a bit shy, but there's the feel that I want. Now I want to go to the flag stick. I'm going to do 1, 2, and that feels about right. I'm not trying to rush through it. I'm just trying to turn that sternum so I can then just brush through. And I didn't particularly aim, but the distance was spot on. So the next one I want to try and do, hopefully the ball doesn't get in the way, but where the camera is right back there, okay, standing a little bit wider, but the same feeling, all I'm doing is a slightly longer stroke. I can add a little bit more speed, but it's 1, 2, 3, and that feels about right. I'm not trying to rush through it. I'm not using my wrist to get into it for a long putt like this. We're just going to brush it all the way through to try and get to the end of that fringe. Go on a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, it's like 3 inches short. From, you know what, a 40, 50 foot putt, I'd take that most days of the week. So using the right arm only, okay, is a wonderful either practice stroke development or just even, I wouldn't say use it out on the course, but practice it when you can, because you do a practice stroke, 1, 2, 3, I'm just aiming towards the fringe here, then I'm going to take my normal setup and have the same sort of sensation, okay, that's kind of downhill, but I've relatively dialed the feeling in to get to the edge of the green that is going to give me that distance control without rushing or hitting putts harder, okay? Obviously uphill, you're going to have to increase the sort of velocity a little bit, but not much. Right arm only really will help your distance control. every single putt is straight. It is. As far as you are concerned, every putt is straight. What I mean by that is you don't need to adjust, care, worry about whether a putt is right to left, left to right when it comes to execution. Every single putt you have has to hit your intermediate point. And that is your decision. That comes down to the green reading about where you want the putt to go, whether it's left to right, right to left, uphill, downhill, whatever. But having the confidence and just the change of thought that, you know what, every single putt is straight. All I have to try and do is repeat the sort of action. It simplifies it, right? And then it just comes down to, I mean, we're not going to be robots by any stretch of the imagination. Even the best in the world are not. But for every single putt you hit, all your objective to do is, after you've read the green, is to strike a putt of your intermediate point with the right distance. That is putting in a nutshell. Read the green, pick a line, execute over the line with the weight and distance that the line that you want, and you should hole more putts. That's the idea. So even on a putt like this, okay, I haven't been too precise with marking it out, but it's going right to left. Instead of some people sort of like trying to almost kind of curve the putt in or sort of lead it in like that, it's going to curve away. This hasn't got a tremendous amount of curve on it, but I'm picking out this T-peg here, okay? And I'm going to make sure that I stroke my putt over that. And hopefully it just sort of, just missed away. But the idea is, I didn't care that the putt drifted in. I didn't care that it stayed out. I executed it correctly. I had a straight putt. And even if we come this way, from left to right, okay, let's say I'm going towards the T-peg, I don't need to do anything else aside from pick a spot that's, say, about here, okay, that's about there, and aim towards that golf ball, but just allow the slope to drift it back. So I hit my target. And if it wasn't there, it would have drifted around pretty much into the cup. So every single putt you have is straight. I don't want to go on and on about it, but that transfer of thought, that application, that all you need to do is pick your intermediate point and do the simple stroke techniques that we've discussed, and you will be holing more. Get the green reading right. That's an art in itself, but that takes time. But just hit every putt as straight as you can, and you will be doing much better than you're doing right now, and be a lot less stressed about it too.